I think our school was sort of defined as like really different and wacky at the time, and probably by today's standards as well. But I think that's what stands out to me the most, is the focus on well-being, the focus on pushing students to be well-rounded, whether that be through project-based learning, where we're learning really what it means to be an educator and to what it means to be a learner, as opposed to just learning things for the sake of it. So combining things, coming up with ideas, but also thinking about our experiences and opportunities and doing real-world learning experience, which is over a longer period of time, which allows us to then really understand what we're working on, as opposed to, like I said, doing things on a surface level, which I think most educational institutions push, as opposed to pushing the real learning and the proper learning, in my opinion.
I mean, my position's a bit individual because I have both ADHD and dyslexia, so obviously kind of sets me back a little in the way that the system's kind of structured at the moment. I think obviously from my experience, biggest thing is obviously like assessments, I suppose, and the ways in which that a lot of people like can cope with those or struggle with those. I think that from my point of view, I've always had an issue with listing out facts, regurgitating it on a piece of paper, and it doesn't feel as though you're like really applying yourself.
From year 10, I'd 100% say work experience. Work experience was at the time of my life because it was a great experience to get treated as like older adults, and it was just a fun experience with friends.
So I would say that the education system right now is very goal-oriented. So when you're learning things, you're not really learning them for the sake of learning them or the enjoyment of the process, but it's rather towards a certain grade. And really you're not actually understanding what that means in the sort of large scope of things for your life and really the world in general.
Whilst I think I was good at exams on paper, I never really understood them. I never really got anything out of them because it became a memory game for me, and that was something that upset me because it meant that I wasn't really learning. I was just remembering things and reciting them, and therefore when I got to the university standard and got to my job now where I'm trying to teach other students, it becomes sort of a vicious cycle where I can see them not learning something, they're just remembering things. So it's kind of sad that that's something that I didn't really enjoy, and now I feel like other students are going through the same thing. So whilst I feel like I'm doing great things with my program and the things that I do outside of the curriculum, I feel like the curriculum has been pretty stagnant in the sense that it still pushes that idea of memorize things and then you'll get through exams. And then you'll get to the next stage in life. And it's almost like monotonous in a way, but it doesn't push for people to be better human beings or to be successful in the way that they want to be.
I think just a diversity within the education, not that one-size-fits-all mentality, that some pupils like different things and will excel in different things like sports or art, and not just that focus on the sciences, on maths or any of the STEM subjects.
My ideal education looks like an even playing field between the teachers and the students, where we both know the teacher knows more. However, the teacher doesn't use that like as a power imbalance, and like they treat us as equals.
I think that right now there's a lot of kind of inequality within the system, whether that's between people with certain disabilities, learning difficulties, or economically. And I think that just trying to provide for each of those differences is a way to kind of put people on the same page, rather than sort of saying, oh, here's a 2-hour-long test, and if you don't do well in that, you know, your worth is a number on a page. So if you don't do well in that, then that's sort of representative of who you are. Something that works to change that, or that works to provide the necessary like building blocks to give people the same kind of equal chances, or, you know, to make the actual test within itself equal, you know, which you wouldn't find with people kind of having different sort of learning styles or abilities.
I would say that currently, when you live in a world such as ours right now, where there's like a huge influx of information, what you really want to be doing is learning the skills to be able to sort of synthesize that knowledge and bringing different concepts together, which is what I think is sort of we're looking for right now. There's a lot of different things that we know and we're really equipped with new technological advancements, but we don't really actually know how to sort of deal with them, or it's, you know, a new stage where we want to be taking things like thinking more creatively about what we sort of already have and using that to advance society rather than using more sort of knowledge to advance society.
I would change like the way assessments are and how like GCSEs are all based on like recall and like what you know, but not everything you're tested on from the past 5 years of schooling. I'll change that.
As radical as it sounds, I think exams are just horrible. I don't think they promote good education. I don't think they promote success in any way, shape or form. And I would want them gone. I think that there are alternatives that promote the success, that promote the good hard work, that promote students' abilities to understand content as opposed to just reciting it. So I would want them gone, and I would want more project-based learning, because I think that when you get into the real world, really allows you to be like, I've learnt this, I know how to do this, and I can apply the skills that I've learnt, as opposed to I'm sort of left in the dark here and I'm trying to learn on the job. No one should be forced to learn on the job, apart from if it's a completely new field. People should feel prepared to enter the working environment if that's what they want to do, and they should feel prepared to enter the next stages of life. And things like exams and things like testing students, creating education, the education system into a competition doesn't promote that. So I want the exams gone, I want more project-based learning, I just want things that allow students to be themselves, and right now the structure just doesn't allow that.
I think exams, rather than having an exam at the end of the year testing you on all the knowledge that you learn, I think having continuous assessments, different types like group work or presentations to develop other soft skills, that's something that I would want to change.
I remember taking my mocks and I was really nervous and I was scared because I took mocks very seriously because I thought it would impact me a lot. But now looking back on it, like I've even forgot the grades I've gotten. So it didn't really impact me that much, but I remember at the time it was made to be like such a big deal. So it made me feel very like sad because I didn't do that well, not as well as I wanted to. I feel like they shouldn't be taken as seriously because they ain't gonna determine your future, if you're right.
It's kind of like, this is it, I have nothing else. Like if I fail this, this is the end, and I hated that.
Assessments weren't that big of a deal like throughout school until like we hit year 10, because that's when the first time we've ever like went into the sports school and did like our mock exams with individual tables and whatnot. So I feel like it was a huge step up and kind of gave everyone like anxiety about it, because like no one was taking into their account how the past 2 years have been disrupted.